Prices will be on the minds of voters this fall, and this morning we have results from several primaries. That includes the race for governor in California, which is finally set a full week after its primaries. With 91% of the vote counted, CBS News projects Republican Steve Hilton will go up against Democrat Javier Becerra in November. And the gubernatorial race in South Carolina is also taking shape. CBS News projects Trump-endorsed Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette and State Attorney General Alan Wilson will advance to a runoff for the GOP nomination. It's scheduled to take place June 23rd.
And in Maine, we look at the contest that could determine which party controls the U.S. Senate. CBS News projects Graham Platner has secured the Democratic nomination despite dealing with a string of controversies. This morning, he was asked on MS Now if he expects more public accusations to be made against him. Here's how he responded.
There is nothing out there that is going to will run counter to any of the stories that I've talked about openly this entire campaign. I've been very open about the fact that I struggled, very open about the fact I had a long litany of failed relationships for years because I myself was not in a good place. And then every now and again, we will have a media outlet or a politically motivated attack come up and try to drag it all up. But it's all very much within the exact same story that I've told this entire time.
Well, Platner will face off against incumbent Senator Susan Collins, who ran unopposed on the Republican side.
CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns is in Maine with more on this race. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us. So why did Platner's controversies not seem to cost him to move on in this way?
Hey, Adriana, it's been really interesting talking to voters here as we have over the past several days. Sorry, someone was talking in my ear. It's been really interesting hearing from voters over the past several days, talking to them about how they're processing all of these controversies. And really, the consensus that we heard from voters, Democratic voters, was that they were willing to look past those controversies and scandals, even if they were uncomfortable with it and how he's handling them, because they believe that the Senate is at stake here, and that is what they were casting their ballot for. I want you to take a listen to just some of what we heard yesterday as voters were going in and out of the polls.
The allegations didn't really affect the way that I felt that Graham Platner would show up for me and show up for Mainers.
They're disturbing, and we've weighed them and talked about them, and we're not happy. But I believe his statements that he's evolving, as we all are, and he does seem to have a penitent heart.
And that's why I think, this race is a bigger race than just Maine. Yes, it is for control of the U.S. Senate here, but also it's kind of a bigger conversation about how much voters are willing to tolerate and stomach when it comes to misconduct, controversies, and scandal, if it means advancing their party in the midterm elections. We're going to see that in other races, too, for Republicans in Texas, for example. But, it was interesting being at Platner's election party last night, because I did talk to one voter who said, she was 150% in for Platner. And then the sexting scandal, those sexually explicit text messages that he had acknowledged sending to people who were not his wife, that resonated with her. And she told me, I just hope he doesn't break my heart. But she was supporting him anyway, is going to show up in November. Yeah. And that is the kind of thing that he is going to need here to take on longtime incumbent Susan Collins.
And she was still at his watch party, which says something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Caitlin, Democrats obviously view this Senate contest in Maine as a must-win for them. Can Platner defeat incumbent Senator Susan Collins?
Who's been there for how long? Yeah.
Exactly. 30 years.
That will be the multi-million-dollar question here, Vlad, because so many outside groups, as well as the candidates themselves, are going to be pouring so much money into this state right here. So hopefully for us, we'll be here a lot because it's beautiful here. But this is going to be the focus of so many political observers, and the money is going to show up here and tells you just how competitive this will be. Susan Collins hasn't been defeated by a Democrat in 30 years. That is something that Democrats say is a liability for her, that they want change, that she's been in Washington for a while now. But she is saying that incumbency matters. She is the leader of the Appropriations Committee. As long as Republicans have control of the Senate, that can matter in a place like Maine, bringing money back into the state. Take a listen to what she had to say yesterday.
The allegations against Graham Platner are extremely troubling and serious, and he owes the people of Maine a detailed answer.
Now, Republicans have also acknowledged that they know that Democrats need this state to win control of the U.S. Senate. So it is going to be very competitive. And so all eyes will be here on Maine for the next several months, guys.
All right, Caitlin, I know you will be there as well. Thank you very much.